Yeah, I mean, we're pleased with the performance that we had. We talk about trying to have consistent performances and stack on them. So the match against Atlanta, I think, is a good example of that. It's a quick turnaround. So everything that we're doing today or yesterday, today leading into Chicago is about focusing on ourselves, seeing how the guys recover, and then working through. I would say focusing on the things that we do well, trying to continue to get better at those things, and applying some of those ideas to the challenges that Chicago is going to bring. It's a team that's is close to us in the table. I think they're looking at us the same way we're probably looking at them, as a game where both teams want to earn 3 points. We're at home. We want to have a good performance, but it's about us doing the things that we do well, and being confident that when we do that, we can compete with anybody.
Great, thank you. We'll start in the room, and reminder, if you have questions on Zoom, please use the hand raise function. Ben?
Yeah, BJ, just looking back at the Atlanta game, obviously getting the win, keeping a clean sheet on the road, all that. What are maybe some things that you saw that you maybe didn't like, maybe isn't the right word, but that you want to improve on from that performance specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always, we analyze the matches always through the phases of play, and I thought we were really good in some of those, in a lot of the phases. I think, again, we talk about capitalizing on scoring chances. In the beginning, we still had more, and can you put the game away there instead of leaving it at 1-0? I think we can do that better. I thought we defended the penalty box well, but we still gave up a couple chances from, I would say, not so much now inside the penalty box, but making sure that the second level is set, so we're not giving up dangerous shots from right around the top of the penalty box and making those contested. The big save that Joe has to make in the first half comes from a moment like that, and then actually there's a moment in the second half that a shot very similar happens that's going on frame that Walker puts his face in front of and makes a really brave play that goes out, but it's almost an identical pattern there. So I think when we talk about the phases, the low block was much improved. We were much more difficult to play inside the penalty box, and now it's getting that second level really secure. But really, a credit to those opportunities that when you rewatch the match, you see Teal and Sam deep defending. That's a credit to what I would say one of our greatest strengths of yesterday was everybody was attacking and everybody was defending, and done in a really collective way.
Yeah, and then obviously Drew kind of came on, I think, for just a minute or two there at the end. But he's back. Patrick's coming back from suspension. I think he and Sean both played for Huntsville yesterday. Just what does having those guys available not just do for you, not just in terms of like what you can ask for midfield, but just having more bodies available with a bunch of games coming up?
Yeah, so I mean, first I think you're right. Patrick and Sean, Johnny, Forrester, and Julian all had the opportunity to play with Huntsville yesterday, which is for me, a tremendous asset for us. And again, talking about the alignment through the club and something that we're trying to utilize really well with the same messaging, the same way of playing. That's a prime example of how that can help us to get guys, I would say some match minutes in their legs for a big stretch like this. We've been riddled with injuries throughout sort of this year to some key people, and it's really nice to have them come back slowly but surely, like you saw with Sean and Drew. And again, it gives us flexibility. It gives us flexibility, it gives us fresh legs, and it gives us more competition inside the squad. And we know when there's good competition for positions, you kind of see the best of each guy come out, and we're looking forward to utilizing that.
Rob.
BJ, the shape of the team looks different from prior to you arriving here. What have you liked from what you've seen from the shape against Atlanta, anyways?
Yeah, I think the shape that we were able to play against Atlanta was a shape that we chose because we wanted to keep the ball out of the middle of the field. So we wanted to create density in the middle of the field that started with Sam and Teal both playing up top to try and get the ball into wide areas. We felt like if we were able to get the ball into wide areas, the play would be much more predictable for us. And then I think what it also showed is it opens up the opportunity to create offensive transition. And we had a lot of moments. Not only did we have a lot of successful offensive transition moments, there's moments that we could have even we missed a pass here or missed a pass there, or maybe, got fouled early, credit to Atlanta to stop one. But there was a lot of promising sort of attacks that occurred as well. So I think for us, first and foremost, when you look at the shape, you're trying to put the players in the positions that bring out their greatest strengths. And I think, when you look at that group and you look at Hani and Anibal and Brian and Alex, like they're very, very good at making it difficult to play through a middle. And then they have I would say, the ability. And now I think we're working on creating that connectedness and that cohesiveness to be able to press as a group into the wide areas and try to win it. And then if you get, again, we're talking about how can we utilize Hani. If we can get him on the ball in offensive transition and get players around him and joining the attack, then that's not something I would necessarily say I teach, or you just kind of you kind of let natural instincts happen. But when you give somebody more players, the more creative they can be.
It's your first win over the last couple of days. How have you soaked it in? What's the last couple of days been like as you've processed your first Major League Soccer win?
I would say it was 39 minutes. That was the plane ride from Atlanta back to Nashville. It was quiet on the plane. You have the moment to think about it, and then we were right back in here early the next morning. And with we're a team that pretty much tries to tick over on processes. So half the staff was already into Chicago, watching their game versus Red Bull. The other half of the staff was already looking at our analyzing our match, and we've pretty much already, with the meeting yesterday morning with the players, we've already turned the page. One win is nice, but the group here has bigger collective goals that we know that we need to kind of continue to take care of business.
We'll go to Valera on Zoom.
Hey, BJ. Is it easier to analyze and I guess correct certain things when you do end up getting the win than when you watch bad games after a loss?
No. I mean, the way that I would say the way that we have our process is set up. No, we basically analyze the opponent and analyze our matches in the same exact way, week in and week out, regardless of result. And again, so we try. It's our job to not be emotionally connected to the result and try to really continue to improve and get better each week. So no, I think we have a really good way of going about our analysis, both of ourselves and the opponent. We try to stick to that because we believe that that's sort of the best way to continue to improve over the weeks and over the months.
Go ahead, Blair. Do you have another?
Yeah. Obviously you have a goal for this season and you've been public about it. But I guess is there any? Are you spending any time maybe working on certain things for next season? Or preparing anything or doing any sort of other work for what's to come after 2024?
No, my commitment, our staff's commitment inside this building to work with the players day to day is we're 100% committed to the group that is here, improving them, making them the best individual players they can be, making the team the best team that we can put out week in and week out, and again, really focused on our short-term objectives. Clearly, we're establishing an identity and a way that we want to play, but that is for more the club as a whole. And like I spoke about with the alignment from the top to the bottom. So, in terms of bigger picture, longer term, I would say that. But no, my focus, our staff's focus, the players' focus is 100% on the short term, exactly what we need, and that's our short term goal of making the playoffs, and right now flipping the page to being focused on Chicago.
We'll go to Claudio.
Thank you, Sean. BJ, how much the coach interfered with? So he's pretty new to the team, and it's actually getting your idea into the player's mind. I have to think about when another team comes to town after a good victory like last Saturday. I mean, how much that victory could actually permeate into the kind of work you have to do until this parties come Wednesday?
Carrying over the momentum from the big win Saturday into the work for this week.
So it was just a little bit hard to hear. Yeah, I mean, you know, the result that we get sort of gives us that final proof that what we're doing, you know, and what we're believing in and what we're working hard for every day is the right path. You know, we all believe that, but you know, a win always feels good and sort of marks it there. It also, for me, it sets the new standard, right? The way that we played sort of sets the new standard in the group of what we expect out of each other and what we expect out of the team each and every night. So that's what we're going to build on. That's the momentum that we're going to build on is sort of that accountability now to each other that, you know, okay, we can perform at this level, and now we have to do it in a consistent manner, and we got to flip it, you know, another time here against Chicago. And I think when you believe in that type of mentality, that's how you can really start to build, whether we want to call it momentum or get yourself on a roll of consistent performances.
Go ahead, Claudio, with one more.
How much are you worried, in terms of what that team brings to the table for this Wednesday? I mean, what are your thoughts about what you need to be careful of? You know, not only about your team performance, but what needs to be aware of before the game.
Basically, your assessment of Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I mean, again, for us, we you know, I think Chicago presents a few different challenges. They're a team that have changed their tactical shape a little bit. They changed their personnel. So we have to be prepared for a lot of different scenarios from them. They present a lot of different challenges that way. They're very, very good on offensive transition. They clearly have, you know, whether, you know, Kuipers is a guy who can score goals at any time. Koutsias has come in and scores a big goal. You know, they have a really good midfield. I would say a balanced midfield of players that can control the ball and players that can go box to box. So for me, they're, I would say, a team that's, you know, got to win this weekend, and they do present a lot of challenges. And then the last piece is their attacking set pieces are very good. They make a lot of first contacts, and we are going to have to be organized from a defensive set piece side. They have a lot of, I would say, routines and plays that they do each and every week. So that'll definitely be a challenge and an area of focus that our team has to be alert on, you know, and not have switch off type of moments.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean, I think, you know, as professionals, we've always been training to basically just look at the task at hand, not look too far ahead, definitely not focus on the past. So for us, it's going to be about continuing with that process, take each game as it comes, even though it's in a more condensed period. I think we're taking the time to prepare for each one. And, you know, BJ is really thoroughly is able to, you know, analyze and break down the opponent and get us in the right headspace. So, you know, as much as it feels like a big week, I think we're taking it one game at a time and kind of just focusing on each game as it comes.
Thanks, Alex. We'll start with Ben.
Yeah, Alex, you're obviously kind of well known for just working insanely hard on both sides of the ball, but it felt like there was maybe more of a collective effort, especially defensively. I mean, you saw guys from the front like Sam, Honey, Teal tracking back and like making challenges in your own box. Just kind of how did you feel about maybe just the collective pressing and defending and everything that you guys showed in Atlanta?
Yeah, I think we definitely, you know, we talk about everyone on the team attacks, everyone on the team defends, and I think that in that game you really saw that, you know, everyone from the guys leading the line to the back were putting their bodies on the line. They were just basically doing whatever they could to make sure that we got out of there with the result, and I think that's the kind of commitment and the kind of level of competition that's got to be the standard for us. And I think that, you know, hopefully we'll see that, you know, when we do that, it leads to good things for us. I don't think that those guys don't generally do that, but I just think that in this game they had a lot of opportunities to do it, and they really they made an impact to the game with their hard work.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it feels like over the past couple weeks and month or so, you guys have been creating chances, and it just hasn't been going in. I know it's probably a little bit more complicated than just like getting a lucky bounce or finally the ball bouncing your way or something like that, but does scoring 2 goals and getting a win like that kind of validate some of the process for you and feel like it's paying off?
Yeah, I think like you said, we were creating a lot of chances, and it just didn't seem to be going. That final 5% wasn't going our way, and I think that while that can be really frustrating, we had to try and focus on the 95% of the things that we were doing well and that were going our way. So finally in this game, when we do convert a few of those goals, it definitely is a little bit of a reminder that we're doing the right thing and a little bit of positive reinforcement, and especially when we've been talking about linking good performances with good results. That's really what it comes down to. And so hopefully the floodgates will have opened and we can continue to do that. But I think that in general, this is a really stable group, a group of guys who keeps their head on their shoulders. So the same way when things weren't going our way, we were keeping our cool. Now that we've scored a few goals, I think that, it's not all going to go out the window. I think we're going to continue with the same kind of pragmatic approach and hard work, and hopefully then we will gain some momentum.
Alex, against Atlanta, you were flying out of the traps as a collective. Did you feel that coming over the couple of weeks building up to it, walking down the tunnel for the kickoff? It just felt like everybody was on the same page and up for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for sure, entering this stage of the season, it'd be embarrassing not to come out hard. But I think if you look at the Austin game, the Orlando game, and the Atlanta game now, we've had really good starts to all those games. Even though in the Austin game, we don't convert, the Orlando game, we don't convert. Atlanta, we finally do, but you see that we're creating really good chances and building a lot of pressure early in the game. And I think that, that's something that we talk about a lot. And to be able to actually go out and have a platform to do it, that's really good for us. And hopefully after those, early moments, we're able to continue the pressure, which we did in Atlanta as well.
You yourself setting the tone, the early goal, you also set one up that was disallowed, and a great bit of skill to go beyond Lennon. For you, how important was that match as well for your confidence in the run-in to playoffs? Yeah,
I think that it was nice to, again, like we said earlier, have some of those moments translate into goals. I think after Orlando was tough. I had a couple chances that didn't really go my way, and had some time to think about it because we didn't have the game on the weekend. So, I think that, I'm proud of myself for being able to get back out there and not let it affect the next game. And I think that I'm proud of the group, the way that they, supported me, and we support each other throughout, these hard times. I think that everybody here loves each other, and they understand what we're going through, and that it's not always going to be the highs and the good moments. It's also going to be about lows, and how you respond to them is really the actual test of everything. It's not really about, did you do well in this moment? It's about, is it going to affect the next moment? So, I think that for us as a team, this can be a reminder of what we can do and what we're capable of. And as individuals, I think we should all feel confident and excited about the upcoming matches.
We'll go to Valera on Zoom.
Hey, Alex, how does it feel that finally the process that you guys have been working on, you mentioned Orlando, you mentioned Austin, how does it feel to finally get a result alongside the work that you've been putting in?
Yeah, it feels really good, obviously, because it's coming at a time in the season when points are super, super valuable. And I think that, it had been a while since our last win. I think someone read the stat. It was June 22nd since our last win. And I think just getting that taste out of our mouths of going into a game and coming out without anything to show for it was really valuable. But I just also want to underline the fact that we've all been really focusing on process, and we've been focusing on a new way of playing and a new way of looking at the game and a way of processing and judging games. And I think that has allowed us to not really get so high and low with results. And I think that's the most important thing. We look at the game objectively and not, did we win or did we lose? It's what are the parts of the game that we did well, and how can we continue to do them? What are the parts where we didn't live up to what we're trying to do or affect the game in the way we want to, and how can we change that? And I think that process-based approach is really valuable and something that is going to pay dividends in the long run.
Go ahead, Valera, if you have a second.
Yeah, I know you're a team guy and you work for the team, but personally for you, when you come into this season, do you have a certain target in terms of goals, assists, passes, ground coverage, anything like that? And are you close to hitting those goals?
No, I don't really think like that. I just think it's I think that in terms of the way the positions I play, it can be so many. I started this year, I was playing midfield, then I was playing wing back, outside back. I played so many different positions. I don't think it really it really makes sense for me to like set goal targets or pass targets. And again, I don't, you never know how much you're going to actually be involved in a season, and so I don't really set that kind of thing. I more set more general type of like ways that I want to approach, ways that I want to prepare, ways that I want to, my mentality to be. So it's not really numbers, that I'm putting out. It's much more about like a holistic way of looking at the game, looking at my impact on the team, and so it's definitely not like numbers based like that. I want to score as much as I can if I get opportunities to, but it's definitely not like, oh, I need to hit 10 or else I'm like it was a failure of a season.
Claudio on Zoom.
Alex, how much does the tactical responsibilities have changed for you on the DJ?
How much of the tactical responsibility change?
Change for you with DJ assistant.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a different philosophy now, I would say, than in the past, and I think that early in his tenure here, it's been a lot about just like translating those things and creating a really clear platform for us to try and achieve those, the different things that we want to do. I think that it has been a lot of information to process because he's a really detailed guy, but I think that he also does a really, really good job of showing you actionable ways that you could actually do what you want. He doesn't just tell you, oh, generally this is what I want. He gives you specific moments when to do it, when not to do it, when or how he wants it done. So I think that basically processing that information has been our challenge, but he's made it really easy to digest and he's made it really clear for us. And I think that's been a key to us being able to kind of pick up this new personality, this new philosophy quickly.
Go ahead, Claudio, with the last question.
Yeah, you already told us that and we know that you have been playing different positions for this team since day one. Do you feel that it's going to be the same thing on the DJ?
I think that this is the first time in my career that, we changed a coach when I was at Red Bull, but it was a little bit of different situation. We kind of put Chris Armas, who was the assistant coach, he took over the role, so we knew each other very well. So this is a new experience for me, and I think what's important for me, especially as I get to this, a more mature age, is I'm not really worried about myself as much. I'm not worried about how it's going to affect me. My main goal and responsibility is to try and be the best version of myself so that I can help the team when I do get a chance, so that I can create a good relationship with BJ and just help this whole process go as smoothly as possible. So I think that right now all I'm focusing on is trying to exactly be the best version of myself, help this team do as well as it can in the short term, and then see where the chips fall later.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Thank
you guys. We'll see you Wednesday.